So happy Tears of the Kingdom hype cooldown period, everyone. So Tears of the Kingdom is awesome. This game was being eagerly anticipated as the sequel to the massive hit that was Breath of the Wild for a good long while, and upon release to honestly jaw-dropping review scores, I, along with every other waiting fan, was vibrating with excitement to go and get it, ready to jump into good old Hyrule yet again. But unfortunately, I quickly found that my experience was not living up to those massive hype numbers. Here I was, in the tutorial, and I was getting frustrated, tired, and felt close to straight up putting the game down, right in those first crucial couple of hours. So, what went wrong? This is the problem with the Great Sky Island. Tears of the Kingdom starts off really strong. The place is a nostalgia trip and a power fantasy slapped into one. That fantasy that we all wanted of seeing Link and Zelda doing Link and Zelda things finally together after so long. Along with that lovely taste of mystery that comes with every new game. The game drops you in as a perfect Link. Full hearts, full stamina, Master Sword. And it feels great to be back. Watch Link do his little shuffles around as Zelda does her thing. And this intro is great. It introduces you to the returning game mechanics naturally, and makes you feel super powerful as a result. It drops some lore, creates some maddening tension, and then strips it all away in this lovely little moment, giving you just the drive that you need to pursue these mysteries, and all that without overstaying its welcome. Then the islands happen. It's quaint at first. You wake up, get a recap, look at Link naked, and make your way outside, and whoa, there's those floating islands that you ordered. It's cool. You take your leap of faith and get to run around for a bit. And this part I have no problems with. It introduces what it needs to, here are those constructs, you get a little feel for Zonai stuff, get your head back in the game after 6 long years. And I really wish that the tutorial ended here. Just fix that bit of plot right here and it kinda works. This big island is where I start to have problems. So, the plateau in Breath of the Wild kinda sucked. So I have no idea why Nintendo felt the need to do it again, but worse. It honestly made me wish I had the plateau back. At least there you could walk across the whole place, and it felt a bit smaller too in retrospect, more direct. You wake up, take in the view, talk to the old man, go to the tower, do the shrines, triangulate, cutscene, Bob's your uncle, paraglider. It's all very central to the one area, all connected, but the Sky Islands here are far too spread out to have that sort of freedom in adventuring. To compare the plateau and the island really doesn't have a goal as such, which might make it seem great given the general vibe of the game, but it quickly becomes a hassle. You wander around for a bit, completely directionless, head to the Temple of Time eventually, actually get an objective to promptly ignore, and go down to the shrines. Real groundbreaking stuff here. And then, upon trying to do the shrines, you realize just how linear things are here. With no middle to the island, you have to go all the way around just to do anything. And this forces you to do things in a certain specific order, unless you want to spend a really long time backtracking. And I just wanted to be able to do things, but I felt like the game was stifling me. The "you'll unlock everything once you do this" bit made me not want to engage with all of the extraneous activities on the island because I felt like I was wasting my time with them. Even mandatory puzzles felt in the way somehow. But you do eventually make your way over all the mini biomes in said linear fashion and fly your way back to the Temple of Time. Woohoo. Finally done with those 3 shrines. Great. Time to get to the meat of the game. Fuck! And then, only then, can you really play the game. Deep breaths here, everyone. And I was nearly physically sick from all those yellow and low contrast or white after all of that. Oh, am I glad that the rest of the game is grassy green and delicious mid-tones. Getting dropped down into the middle of nowhere Hyrule field had me about to eat the damn grass. And it's a shame. I really feel like the intro soured my feelings on the Sky Islands. At the time that I wrote this script down in a late night stupor, I'd hardly even touched any of the other ones. I was burned out really bad on wanting to do any of that stuff. And I think I was coping hard because I just spent a really long time down in the depths afterwards. I never thought I could have so much fun wandering around in the pitch black. No, I don't need your glow blossoms, I'm fine. I think the problem comes in with the length. The sheer amount of time that you spend there for the first time. The knowledge that you're being limited there frustrates me. Walking around for hours without any powers, and especially without the paraglider. And many of the tasks feel very menial, and you don't have much of a choice in the way that you can approach things there. You have 3 hearts, making combat either incredibly easy or a frustrating dance of trial and error. And with 1 stamina circle, forget climbing or running. And that's fine. It's the start of the game. You're supposed to be weak. You have plot reasons for being weak. But there's no choice to go fix this. If you run into a tough enemy in the wilds, you can leave, go do some shrines, equip yourself. But here, there's no chance to do anything but attack it head on. I would say that many of these problems are carried over from the original game in the Great Plateau, but I really don't have any hard feelings against it there apart from being a bit slow on a repeat playthrough. Breath of the Wild was a new experience for Zelda games, and having a mini world to explore while you got your bearings was much more manageable since everyone was on the same page. The Great Sky Island just doesn't have that same feeling to me. More like it was aggressively playtested to the point that the devs forgot what a first playthrough would be like, making the difficulty balance almost non-existent. And as an aside, in replaying the intro and the tutorial to get footage, I had a much better time playing the game up to a certain point. Having played much of the main game, I found that the combat was way less frustrating, and just beelining it to objectives made the pacing feel way better. Which is why I say it was aggressively playtested. People knowing what to do and where to go simply cannot make these unbiased assessments of the game's progression and pacing. Plus, I still didn't do any of the side objectives and I still got frustrated. The Temple of Time should be the first thing that you do. But did I do that on the first playthrough? No. It was a whole adventure just to get there. I thought that the puzzle was to figure out how to get there, completely oblivious to the path that leads you right to it. So, upon getting there and getting told to do a bunch of extra objectives after I'd already had my fun and wanted to leave, it made me want to rip my hair out. And this is a massive shame because everything else is so much fun. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom by association thrives in an open world environment with a plethora of distractions to distract you as you traverse the world. The games give you a big goal right off the bat, so it's up to you to figure out how you want to approach it. I love being distracted halfway across the map following little breadcrumbs as I stumble into curious and exciting things. This experience just isn't there on the island, as the game limits you in every way. You have no options and a linear path to follow, in a game that simply isn't built right for that sort of experience. I guess what I'm trying to get across here is why, after waiting so long for this game, hyping it this much, did I want to put it down after a couple hours in pure frustration? It makes me sad that such a good experience otherwise was tainted for me by a lackluster introduction. And I feel like either a few smart changes in the pacing, making an intro that wasn't trying to be the same as Breath of the Wild's would have made a really big impact on my enjoyment of it overall. Being able to run around at your own pace with all your tools at the ready is part of the breath of the Tears of the Wild that you come here for. And I just wish that the intro kept those same feelings at heart. Hold on. Why do I hear boss music?